Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. You can see futures are hanging between neutral zone, which is white zone, and then this is the red zone. These are three standard deviation. There is a gap here around 21,891, so maybe Nasdaq is going towards that gap. So it's up pre-market 0.72%, mainly due to Apple earnings. So from here, Nasdaq could go maybe around 0.5% more, and that would be a good area to take profit or take short position. You can see it came very close to green line, and then now pumping back again here. Same thing with S&P 500. You can see came very close to red line. There was PCE data this morning around 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Didn't do much. It came in line 2.8% PCE. So could be looking for another rally to these red lines, and that would be a nice area to short. Dow Jones also, you can see similar story in all indices, near to sell zone, the neutral zone. In terms of Bitcoin, it's coming to neutral zone. It was in the sell zone here. You can see touched here multiple times. It went as high as 106 500, and now from there it went down. Came back to neutral zone. Below neutral zone was down almost 2.3%. Now in the neutral zone here, Ethereum is pretty strong. It's pumping, trying to catch up to Bitcoin, but still way far away. Still, this is the time you want to take profit. You want to buy in the green line, not here. So let's review all the other indices. Let's see what are the possible scenarios and where this can go. Please hit the like button, guys. Only takes 1 second to hit the thumbs up button and share this channel with your friends and family. Okay, so this is S&P 500 futures, US 500. You can see RSI is in the middle, and in if you're a bull, it could go touch 63.68. From here, where it is right now, we are looking for maybe another rally to like this, 4.3%. And if you're a bear, definitely it will go from here to below 9.73%. 5,500 is where it's reaching right now. Okay, so we'll keep an eye. If RSI goes hit red line, that's a good area to short. If it goes to hit the green line, that's a good area to buy. So let's go to daily chart and see how things are looking. From cycle perspective, you can see here this is SPX cycle chart, and you can see we are in a declining phase right now. We are right now finishing up this topping phase. So we fill this gap. Actually, let's go to 1 hour chart and see, did it fill? Slightly left. Okay, this gap is slightly left, but this will be filled pre-market. You can see S&P 500 is up 0.46%. So this gap is going to be, actually it's going to be a gap up. So they are filling this gap, and then cycle is saying we're looking for some weakness from here towards the second week of Feb. We'll see how it goes. So the good news is it's above all moving averages price, and then we will see if it's gonna go start declining to fill some of these green gaps. We'll keep an eye on that. Nasdaq a little weaker, but it's up 0.8% now because of Apple. So you can see it's most likely gonna go above this gap fill and open on a gap up. So probably it's gonna come back down after session opens to fill that gap, and then it will decide either it's gonna go higher to fill the second gap or it's gonna come back lower to fill this gap. There's a gap here, there's a gap here. So from here, if we go up, it's already 1%. So that gap will fill today probably, and then we'll come back down, which is 3.59, and eventually we'll fill this gap, which is around 6% away. So keep that in mind. At some point we'll fill this gap. We just don't know when. Triple Qs, you can take a screenshot. Levels are here, similar to Nasdaq. Dow Jones, very bullish, above all moving averages. So it's by the dip, but again, multiple gaps to the bottom side. IWM is facing some resistance on this red line, which is 50 moving average. Let's see if it closes above that. There are a couple of gaps up, but if it closes below, there are a couple of gaps bottom as well. This big gap up is also, which is something we'll fill at, at near future. Bitcoin, again, uh, looking very strong. Not a lot of movement happening, just stabilizing here. Again, let's see if it comes back to this yellow box. That's a buy zone. If not, then it's buy the dip and it can keep going higher. BTC, just remember there are a couple of gaps. These green lines, they are on futures. One gap is around 101, another gap is around 105, and then this massive gap is around 77K. So these should be filled at some point. So just keep that in mind. So look to take profits as soon as you can. Ethereum bouncing after touching this blue line, which is 200 EMA, now in front of some resistance on this red line, which is 50 moving average SMA. Let's see if it can close that. And Ethereum, You can see there is a gap here, so probably they're trying to fill that gap around 3,500. Okay, so that's what Ethereum is trying to do, in my opinion. Toronto Stock Exchange, very bullish, gap up, so just be careful. This gap could be filled at some point. And then Hang Seng Index also by the dip for now. Looks pretty. Something is wrong with this Hang Seng. It's not moving, so maybe I have the wrong futures in front of me. Oh, maybe it's a Chinese holiday, so that's why it's Hang Seng Index is kind of on holiday mode, so it's not moving. So we'll skip it for now. Bond market in front of resistance, so wait for it to close above that. TLT must be same. You can see multiple gaps up, multiple gaps down. And let's move to oil now, some commodities. Oil had a 9 counts buy signal, just a long led doji indecision candle. You can see up and down just indecision. Again, today is also making indecision. So let's see what happens. Probably should make a decision to the upside because there's a gap here around 79.83. CNQ was up 0.8%, but there's some news after hours yesterday, late in the day, that there will be tariffs announced on Canadian 25%. He said oil and gas. He will think about it tonight, so we don't know. So if he imposes tariff, that could bring some downwards move to the stock. But for now, just remember, long term there are so many gaps to fill to the top side. So and there's only one bottom gap here. So there's a lot of potential from where it closed yesterday to like first gap fill 14%, second gap fill 19 and 21%. So just keep that in mind. I don't want to put your expectations too high. XLE also in front of money moving averages, holding 7 counts buy signal, getting ready for a pump. So energy sector is looking good. Natural gas down 2.8%. I told one of my subscribers, he was asking how you think it's looking very bullish here. I said, no, seasonality wise, it's very weak, February and March. So I think it's going to go fill this gap here. So still looking for downwards move to 2.78. So just keep that in mind. It's always good to take profits when people are advising. Um, so yeah, looking for more downwards move from now until mid of Feb. Gold is looking really good. Gap up, gap up, and new highs, and very overbought. So light green background. You don't want to be buying gold here. Wait for a dip. This gap will fill. Just wait for that. Silver also now trying to follow gold. So above all moving averages. Copper will eventually also break out, getting us 8 counts buy signals yesterday. Sugar just dipping, trying to make an inverse head and shoulders. So by this dip, when it makes this right shoulder, and then it's going to break out eventually. Wheat is weak. I said it's wait for it to close above these blue lines, and you can see time and time it comes closer to that and then breaks down again. So you have to wait for it to consistently look profitable. Corn by the dip, finding support on this blue white line. Dollar looking okay, stabilizing. So there is a gap here around 109. If it comes back down to this green line, look to buy. In terms of FANG stock, Apple had a nice earnings. Well, earnings was okay, but their guidance was not that great. They said 10%, 11% decline expecting in China sale. Still they're pumping, so market is just like manipulating everybody. But again, it's opening on a gap up, so they will fill this gap, okay? This earnings gap, whenever those happens, they do fill. You can see gap down and then fill it up. This gap is not filled yet, so there's massive gap here as well. So we'll see how and when all these things will fill, but most likely they will try to fill this gap as the market starts to open. Meta at new high, time count sell signal. You know what to do. What you want to be buying here? Wait for a dip to buy again. Netflix, same thing here, flagging above all-time high. Amazon, little bit weakness, but at all-time high. Like Microsoft is pretty interesting, massive gap down. They will fill that gap at some point. You can see here also gap down. They fill that gap eventually. So just keep an eye on this. This could be a good trade for long-term portfolio. ServiceNow, same thing. Uh, Massive gap down. They will fill it at some point, but we'll look to buy this dip. NVDA now recovering nicely near 200 EMA SMA yesterday. So they are just holding it here, near here, and they usually bounce. Every stock comes near 200 gets a bounce. So they could fill this gap, guys, which is a huge potential if you are NVIDIA bull from where it is right now. It's possible 14% upside from here. AVGO looking very, with this whole gap down, they will try to fill at some point, and then Tesla also after earnings, 7 comes buy signal. They are, again, this stock I also don't understand. After bad earnings, such a bad earnings, they are pumping. But anyhow, there's a gap up and then multiple gaps down. I think it's going to eventually break. This 340, 320 range is the area it's going to find some support. And if that breaks, then there's a massive gap around 250s and then another gap around 230s, 200. So keep that all in mind. Apart from that, guys, if you like any other stock you want me to review, put a comment and I will take a look. Wix, multiple top gaps are there and it's crushing. It can go to these green lines to fill these gaps. That means market is going higher. Inversely, if it goes up to fill this top gap, that means market will go lower. So we'll see how things come up. It's going to be an interesting day. Um, and that's it for today. Hit the like button on your way out, and I will talk to you later. Bye.